Why didn't we see Travis on the show?
I don't know. I guess sometimes he didn't want to be filmed. I never pressured him to be on the show.
Why wasn't Travis ever showing up on the show? Well, Kylie straight up said, I don't know. I guess sometimes he just didn't want to be filmed. And just like that, she kept it real. No pressure, no drama, at least on camera. But behind the scenes, fans were obsessed. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott's roller coaster romance had people glued to their screens for years. From loved-up red carpet moments to secret breakups and makeups, their relationship was always on blast. And then came the whispers. She's 40 and having another baby? Has she lost it? People muttered. The public couldn't stop buzzing. Their whirlwind love story turned into a full-on saga. 2 kids, major milestones, and then, suddenly, it was over. No warning, no soft landing. Fans were left shook, asking, what happened? This wasn't just any celeb breakup, it was one that made headlines worldwide. What went down behind closed doors? Why did Kylie finally say, enough? Before we break down what really ended it, we gotta rewind. Let's take a closer look at Kylie's rise. From reality TV teen to billionaire boss. Her life has never been normal, not with cameras following her since she was a kid, fame exploding, and every move scrutinized. And when she linked up with Travis in 2017, it was instant fireworks. Their relationship played out with flashy moments for the world to see, but also quiet, unfiltered times nobody knew about. If we're gonna understand why things fell apart, we need to go back and unpack what really shaped their whole story. Because being part of the Kardashian universe, that's a wild ride all on its own. Kylie Jenner was born into a family that already had the spotlight burning bright. Her parents, Kris and Bruce Jenner, were raising her in a world where money, fame, and cameras were just part of everyday life. From the outside, it all looked perfect. Mansions, designer clothes, red carpets. But behind the glitz, there were challenges people didn't see. Growing up under a microscope is no joke. Kylie didn't have a regular childhood. She wasn't just dealing with school or teenage drama. She was trying to figure out who she was while the world watched her every move. Being the youngest of the bunch, with half-siblings like Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, and Rob already making headlines, Kylie had no choice but to grow up fast. Then came Kendall, just a year older, and the two of them became the next-gen faces of the Kardashian-Jenner empire. When Keeping Up with the Kardashians hit TV screens in 2007, Kylie was just a little kid, but suddenly, millions of people were watching her grow up. There was no hiding. Her private life? Gone. Every argument, every crush, every awkward moment, it was all there for the world to judge. Most people would have cracked under that kind of pressure, but Kylie? She held it down with serious poise. Still, just because she looked calm didn't mean life was easy. The fame only got more intense as the years passed, and the bigger her family got, the more the cameras zoomed in. Yeah, she had money. Yeah, she had fame. But that doesn't mean everything was sweet. Behind the filters and the flashbulbs, Kylie was still a teen trying to figure things out in front of the entire world. And that's a pressure most people couldn't even imagine. Kylie had her own battles, plenty of insecurities, moments of doubt, and the kind of pressure that would crush most teens. Growing up in a world where looks were everything and image was the family brand? That hits different. But Kylie didn't fold. She found a way to stand out, not just by riding the Kardashian-Jenner wave, but by creating her own lane. The shift started in her mid-teens. She was still young, but the spotlight was already blinding. Her sisters, especially Kim, were already global names, snagging deals, launching brands, dominating headlines. Kylie saw it all happening and knew she had to step up or get lost in the shadows. So she made a move toward beauty and fashion. She started playing with bold makeup looks, changing her style, and catching people's attention online. Before long, the fans weren't just following her because she was part of the family, they were following her. Kylie became the one setting trends, influencing millions, and breaking the mold. Her Instagram blew up. Her face was everywhere. People were copying her looks, quoting her posts, and trying to be her. But with all that attention came something heavier. No privacy, no real break, and that feeling like you constantly gotta prove you belong. Even with all the fame and love, it was like the world was just waiting for her to slip. And one of the biggest hurdles Kylie had to face? It wasn't just about keeping up. It was about surviving the pressure of being judged 24/7 and still finding the courage to keep showing up like a boss. One of the biggest things Kylie had to deal with, constant comparisons to her sisters. Whether it was Kim dominating the beauty game or Khloe building her own TV and business empire, Kylie was always being measured against them. And for the youngest one in the crew, that pressure hit hard. She didn't want to just be another Kardashian Jenner. She wanted her own spotlight. It wasn't all glitz and glam behind the scenes. Kylie dealt with a lot of inner struggles, trying to figure out who she was while cameras followed her every move. She had to juggle her personal life with the non-stop public attention, and on top of that, she was trying to prove she wasn't just riding the family name. That kind of pressure can mess with your head, but Kylie flipped the script. By her late teens, she made a major power move. In 2015, she dropped the Kylie lip kits, and boom! The beauty world went crazy. What started as a simple lip product turned into Kylie Cosmetics, a beauty empire that took over the industry. No one saw it coming, but she turned her love for makeup into a global brand that made serious money. At first, Kylie didn't even like calling herself a businesswoman. But as her company blew up, there was no denying it. She was a force in the beauty world. Sure, keeping up with the Kardashians gave her that initial platform, but it was her hustle, vision, and sharp moves that kept her on top. For Kylie, growing up famous wasn't about being handed everything. It was about carving her own path and proving she could stand alone in a world where everyone thought they already had her figured out. Kylie wasn't just riding her family's fame. She was out here making boss moves of her own. She had the eye for opportunity and the guts to take it. While the world saw the glam, behind the scenes she was grinding, polishing her brand, perfecting her social media game, learning the ropes, and stacking her wins. Slowly but surely, she turned her image into a billion-dollar beauty empire. And here's the twist, this crazy hustle? It was one of the reasons things fell apart with Travis, but we'll get into that mess in a minute. Before that breakup drama, Kylie was out here making history. She became the youngest self-made billionaire. That's wild. Her story blended family fame with raw ambition and real business smarts. Yeah, she came up in the Kardashian-Jenner universe, but she took it to the next level, building something way bigger than a last name. What really made Kylie stand out wasn't just the fame. It was her hustle. She spotted chances, took risks, and turned her passion into real power. Growing up in a house full of moguls and media madness, she was always surrounded by big names and bigger deals. Her mom, Kris, ran the show like a boss. Her dad, an Olympic legend. Success was the family language, but Kylie found a way to speak it in her own voice. She had a front-row seat to all the chaos, especially watching Kim skyrocket from reality TV to global icon status. But Kylie? She had a different route. Being the youngest meant she had to move smarter, play her cards differently. And she did just that. Her rise wasn't a repeat of anyone else's. It was her own path, her own legacy, and it hit just as hard. When Kylie first showed up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she was just a teen trying to find her place in a family full of already famous sisters. Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney had their lanes locked down. And Kylie, she was still figuring it all out. At first, she wasn't front and center on the show, but that didn't last long. As she got older, it became clear. Kylie wasn't here to just be the little sister. She had her own dreams, and they had everything to do with beauty and fashion. And in 2015, she made her move. Kylie launched Kylie Lip Kits, and the game changed forever. What started as a few lip products turned into a billion-dollar beauty brand, Kylie Cosmetics. It all kicked off after she shocked the internet with her lip filler transformation. The world couldn't stop talking about it, and her followers were dying to know how to get that signature Kylie look. So what did she do? She turned all that attention into a business move that no one saw coming. At the time, she already had over 20 million followers on Instagram. And instead of just taking cash for brand deals, she flipped the script. She used her platform to build her own empire. Her makeup line wasn't just about lipstick, it was about creating a vibe her fans could tap into. It felt personal, like Kylie was sharing her secret sauce. She teased drops, posted behind-the-scenes content, and kept fans hooked with sneak peeks. Kylie didn't just sell products, she built a beauty brand that felt like an exclusive club and everyone wanted in. Kylie didn't just post selfies on Instagram, she turned her feed into a money-making machine. She used it to flex her style, drop beauty looks, and most importantly, to sell her products directly to her fans. That's what set her apart from every other celeb trying to launch a beauty brand. Kylie turned social media into a full-blown business strategy. When she dropped her first line of lip kits in 2015, instant chaos. They sold out in minutes. People were refreshing their browsers like crazy just to snag one. That launch made it loud and clear. Kylie had tapped into something big. It wasn't just about lipstick. It was about the Kylie vibe. Fans weren't buying makeup. They were buying a piece of her world. Her followers felt locked in, like they were on this wild ride with her. That connection made the brand way more than just products on shelves. It felt personal, exclusive, and super glam. Kylie mastered the art of making her fans feel like insiders, and that right there? Genius marketing. While other influencers were still trying to figure out how to use social media for sales, Kylie was already cashing in, big time. The lip kits were just her first move. Once the hype took off, she expanded fast. New shades, fresh products, and even collabs with her famous fam. Everything she touched turned into a must-have. In no time, Kylie Cosmetics wasn't just popular. It was dominating the beauty scene. She didn't just build a brand, she built a beauty empire, one post at a time. Kylie's success with Kylie Cosmetics wasn't just about the makeup, it was about how she sold it. While big-name beauty brands were dropping millions on glossy ad campaigns and billboards, Kylie flipped the script. She used herself as the ad. Her Instagram, already stacked with millions of followers, became her own personal billboard, and it worked like magic. Every product drop came with hype, sneak peeks, and countdowns that sent fans into a frenzy. She created serious urgency. People were rushing to buy before everything sold out. And she did it all without spending heavy on traditional marketing. Her secret weapon? That one-on-one connection with her fans? They didn't just want the product, they wanted her look, her style, her whole vibe. Kylie's marketing game was next level. Simple, smart, and way ahead of its time. She became one of the first celebs to truly merge personal branding with business on such a massive scale. And the payoff? Huge. By 2019, Forbes dropped the headline that made jaws hit the floor. Kylie Jenner was officially the youngest self-made billionaire, at just 21. The title sparked drama, with critics questioning if self-made really applied to someone born into Hollywood royalty. But here's the truth. Fame might have opened the door, but Kylie ran through it with her own hustle. She saw a gap in the beauty market, jumped on it fast, and turned her platform into profit. Her family name gave her a boost, sure, but it was her business instincts and fearless moves that took her to the top. Kylie's rise was more than just a personal win. It was proof that in the new era of business, one viral post can launch an empire. Social media flipped the business game upside down, and Kylie? She was ahead of the curve from the jump. She didn't just use her online presence for clout, she monetized it. She built something real off her digital image, turning likes, comments, and shares into serious money. It's a masterclass in personal branding that every young entrepreneur should be paying attention to. Kylie didn't just slap her name on some products, she created a whole vibe, a brand built on trust, authenticity, and connection. Her fans didn't just want lipstick, they wanted in. They wanted to feel like they were part of her world. That's the magic Kylie brought to the table. She gave people more than makeup. She gave them access to a lifestyle. Now that we've seen how locked in Kylie is with her business and her family, it's time to dive into something way more personal. Her relationship with Travis Scott. This wasn't just any celeb fling. Kylie and Travis became the couple everyone was watching. Their story started back in 2017 at the Coachella Music Festival. And yeah, that first meeting? It hit different. Sparks flew quick. They were both in their prime, famous, busy, and chasing their own goals. But when they met, it was instant chemistry. You could see it. They kept popping up together all over the place during the festival, and people started talking fast. What started as casual vibes turned serious real quick. Even though their lives were packed with work, tours, and media chaos, they still made time for each other. They weren't super flashy in the beginning either. No over-the-top PDA or attention grabs. They kept it low-key, sharing just enough online to keep fans hooked, but never too much. It felt real, raw, and like something that could actually last. Or at least, that's how it looked at first. In April 2018, fans were hit with major news. Kylie Jenner confirmed she was expecting a baby with Travis Scott. The world was shook, especially since she had kept the entire pregnancy a complete secret. No bump pics, no interviews, just silence. Kylie disappeared from the spotlight and chose to stay behind the scenes, fully focused on her health and her growing baby. Then, in early February 2018, Kylie gave birth to their daughter, Stormy Webster. And just like that, everything changed. It wasn't just about Kylie and Travis anymore. They were parents, and suddenly their relationship had a whole new layer. Kylie dropped photos of baby Stormy, and fans lost it. The internet couldn't get enough. She spoke openly about how motherhood had changed her life. And Travis? He was right there too, showing love for his daughter and stepping up in a big way. He made it clear. Being a dad was everything to him. Their romance went public in a whole new way. From cute social media posts to magazine covers, Kylie and Travis became the ultimate modern power couple. They had the fame, the style, and now a family that fans were obsessed with. But even with all the attention, they kept things real, never feeling pressured to slap on traditional labels. Marriage? Not a priority. Kylie and Travis admitted they didn't need a ring to define their love. They were doing things their own way, and people respected that. They focused on raising their daughter, enjoying each other's company, and keeping their bond strong without giving in to outside noise. They made their own rules, and for a while it looked like they were winning at love and life, completely on their own terms. Over the next few years, Kylie and Travis kept their relationship going strong, at least on the surface. They were spending holidays together, jetting off on luxury getaways, and always showing up for one another's biggest moments. Travis pulled up to Kylie's product launches like a supportive king, and Kylie returned the love, backstage at concerts, front row at shows. They looked like a dream team chasing success and love. They had a vibe that felt real. They respected each other's grind and never held back when it came to showing love in public. You'd hear them praising each other in interviews or dropping sweet captions online. It was clear they had each other's backs. But with fame that massive, you already know there was pressure building behind the scenes. Raising a kid together while trying to juggle insane careers? That's no small task. Kylie was busy expanding her Kylie Cosmetics empire, breaking records and making deals left and right. Travis, on the other hand, was deep in the music scene, touring, creating, and living life on the road. Their worlds were spinning fast, and that kind of non-stop schedule makes it tough to slow down and just be together. Even though their lives started to blur, business, parenting, and fame all tangled up, they still fought to stay close. They made time for family trips, stayed active in Stormy's life, and showed up when it mattered most. You'd still catch them sharing hugs in public, dropping fire couple photos on Instagram, and giving fans those swoon-worthy moments. They weren't just a couple. They were a brand, a partnership, and one of the most talked about duos in Hollywood. But even with all the love and effort, the cracks were slowly starting to show. Fans loved Kylie and Travis for what looked like a solid, balanced relationship. They seemed unbothered by the fame, raising Stormy together and showing the world that even young superstars could build something real. But behind the sweet moments and flawless selfies, things weren't always picture perfect. The non-stop media attention was brutal. Paparazzi followed their every move, and the rumors, they never stopped. Every week, headlines popped up speculating about drama, cheating, or a secret breakup. But Kylie and Travis stayed calm, clapping back on social media, posting cute pics, and making it clear they were still a unit. Then came a turning point. In 2019, Travis dropped Astroworld, and it was huge. The album shot him to another level of fame, and with it came tours, press runs, and a lifestyle that kept him constantly moving. Meanwhile, Kylie was managing her billion-dollar empire and taking care of Stormy. They were both killing it individually, but the distance started creeping in. By early 2020, whispers started turning into headlines. Reports claimed the couple was going through a rough patch. No one could say for sure if they'd officially split, but the word break was in the air. Kylie addressed it by posting to Instagram, saying they were still friends and focused on co-parenting, but fans could feel the shift. The vibe wasn't the same. They were still showing up for Stormy and being present as a family, but the romance? It had cooled down. The fairy tale that once had fans obsessed was now clearly changing. Kylie and Travis weren't beefing, they were just on different paths, trying to hold it together the best way they could. Fans loved Kylie and Travis for what looked like a solid, balanced relationship. They seemed unbothered by the fame, raising Stormy together and showing the world that even young superstars could build something real. But behind the sweet moments and flawless selfies, things weren't always picture perfect. The non-stop media attention was brutal. Paparazzi followed their every move, and the rumors? They never stopped. Every week, headlines popped up speculating about drama, cheating, or a secret breakup. But Kylie and Travis stayed calm, clapping back on social media, posting cute pics, and making it clear they were still a unit. Then came a turning point. In 2019, Travis dropped Astroworld, and it was huge. The album shot him to another level of fame, and with it came tours, press runs, and a lifestyle that kept him constantly moving. Meanwhile, Kylie was managing her billion-dollar empire and taking care of Stormy. They were both killing it individually, but the distance started creeping in. By early 2020, whispers started turning into headlines. Reports claimed the couple was going through a rough patch. No one could say for sure if they'd officially split, but the word break was in the air. Kylie addressed it by posting to Instagram, saying they were still friends and focused on co-parenting, but fans could feel the shift. The vibe wasn't the same. They were still showing up for Stormy and being present as a family. But the romance? It had cooled down. The fairy tale that once had fans obsessed was now clearly changing. Kylie and Travis weren't beefing. They were just on different paths, trying to hold it together the best way they could. Even after their split, Kylie and Travis were still spotted together at family events, smiling for photos, keeping things cool for the kids. But fans noticed something had changed. The once inseparable duo started popping up less and less. Their public appearances became rare, and the spark that used to light up their every move? It was fading. Still, one thing never wavered. Kylie and Travis stayed solid when it came to their children. In 2022, they welcomed their son, Ari, and continued showing up as parents first. They've both made it clear. The love for their kids comes before anything else. Whether in interviews or on social media, they kept it respectful, always speaking positively about one another and the time they shared. But beneath all the calm posts and sweet captions, there was more going on. The real reason Kylie walked away? It wasn't messy, but it was deep. Kylie later confirmed what fans had been sensing all along. They were in love, yes, but they weren't aligned. The priorities just didn't match anymore. After 2 years of quietly navigating their changed dynamic, Kylie finally opened up about why things ended with Travis. At her core, Kylie's always been about family. That's never changed. She grew up surrounded by it. Siblings everywhere, her mom Kris running the show, and tight bonds with Kendall, Kim, and Khloe. Viewers saw it play out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So when she became a mom herself, that value only got stronger. She wanted to be present, to pour into her kids the same way her family poured into her. And while Travis was grinding on his own path, Kylie started realizing being together meant needing the same vision for their future. And for her, that future had to start with family at the center. Travis and Kylie were living in 2 different worlds. While Kylie was deep in mom mode, raising Stormi, managing her beauty empire, and building a future grounded in family, Travis was living that fast-paced music life. He was flying city to city, headlining shows, hitting exclusive parties, and moving through a high-energy scene that rarely slowed down. That lifestyle? It came with long nights, flashing lights, and a non-stop social whirlwind. For Travis, it was part of the job. He was at the top of his game in music, and the chaos came with the fame. But for Kylie, who valued peace, privacy, and quiet moments with her kids, the contrast started to hit hard. At first, they made it work. Kylie respected his passion, and Travis admired her hustle. But over time, the differences got louder. Kylie had always been about home life, Sunday dinners, family time, keeping things intimate. She realized she couldn't keep up with a world that never turned off, especially when she was trying to raise her children in a grounded, stable space. As much as she cared about Travis and respected his success, she knew deep down this wasn't the kind of life she wanted for her or her kids. The very things that once pulled them together started becoming the reasons they were drifting apart. According to sources close to Kylie, one of the biggest turning points came when she finally said, "I don't want that kind of energy around my kids. I want a family, not a party." That clarity hit hard. The late nights, the constant noise, it just didn't align with her vision of motherhood or the peaceful home she was trying to build. In the end, it wasn't about drama. It was about growth. And Kylie chose the path that felt right for her future. Kylie was laser-focused on one thing, giving Stormi and Aerie the kind of life she never had growing up, calm, stable, and full of love. She wasn't chasing headlines or Hollywood chaos. She was building a future rooted in peace. And deep down, she knew that meant needing a partner who shared that same vision. As much as she appreciated Travis as a father, his lifestyle didn't match the life she was trying to build. Kylie was leaning into motherhood and business with everything she had. She wanted slow mornings with her kids, family dinners, and time to reflect. Not the fast lane energy that came with Travis's music career. He was constantly on the go, touring, working, living in that high-speed, high-pressure world. But Kylie? She was craving something way more grounded. She's said it before. What matters most to her is peace, simplicity, and real love. She found happiness in the quiet moments, walks with Stormi and Aerie, laughing with her sisters, or just staying in and soaking up time with her kids. Her heart was in the stillness, in the little things, not the spotlight. And while Travis thrived in the buzz and chaos, Kylie started seeing the gap between their lifestyles grow wider. He loved the crowds, the stage, the energy. She loved the calm. It wasn't about one being right or wrong. It was just different paths. By now, Kylie had built a life she loved. Kylie Cosmetics was booming. Her role as a mom was front and center, and her energy was locked into creating a home filled with purpose. Her time became sacred, and she wasn't willing to trade that for a life that didn't feel aligned. The more she grew, the clearer it became. They were headed in opposite directions. Kylie knew that if she wanted to keep moving forward, she had to be deliberate about who she kept close. Time is everything, and she wasn't about to waste hers on people who didn't match her energy. For her, it was all about being surrounded by those who valued family, peace, and stability just as much as she did. Meanwhile, Travis was living a completely different reality. His life demanded constant movement, jet-setting across the globe, locking himself in the studio for hours, and showing up at the hottest events night after night. That's the rhythm of a top-tier artist, and he was deep in it. While Kylie was savoring quiet nights at home with her kids, Travis was caught in the non-stop swirl of fame and performance. In the end, their breakup didn't come from a lack of love. It came from a clash in lifestyles. Kylie needed more than just chemistry. She needed alignment. And even though Travis had plenty of strengths, his path just didn't match the life Kylie was building for herself and her children. So, what do you think? Should Kylie and Travis have stayed together? Or was the breakup exactly what needed to happen? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celeb drama, deep dives, and untold stories.